Welcome back to our channel. I'm Coach Duki,
I'm Coach Kausar.
and we have helped over 1,000 women to lose fat without quitting their favorite foods.
Have you tracked calories before and not seen any results? If that is you, this episode is for you because we're going to teach you 8 things that are very, very crucial for you to learn and understand before you tap into tracking calories.
When you are losing weight. I remember 10 years ago downloading my Fitness Pal and just following the calories, numbers, and the macros that they were giving me, and I was very lost. I just tracked for a couple of weeks and then I quit because that wasn't working for me.
After losing 70 pounds combined and helping over 1,000 women achieve sustainable weight loss results, we're here to tell you, besties, and we're going to spill all of the secrets about how to work your way up to tracking calories, because it's really important for you to build those fundamental habits before you start tracking calories. And there's a huge reason why you keep on failing in this tracking game is because you haven't really established those really, really important habits. So stay tuned as we teach you all those fundamental habits.
It is not only about calories in and calories out. I see clients that are worrying too much about the amount of calories. The amount of calories are going to tell you the quantity of food, but more importantly is focusing on the quantity of food, which are the macros. So what are macros? We have 3 macronutrients: protein, carbs, and fat. And you should have these macros every time you are eating any type of meal. Let's say these food trackers are telling you to eat 1,200 calories. Then you're eating those 200 calories without paying attention to the macros, you might be starving right now. So this is what you have to pay attention. When you open the food tracker, you need to check your macro breakdown. And it is really important that the protein is about 0.5 grams per body weight for you in order to be successful. Otherwise, you're going to starve yourself, and this is not going to be sustainable. That is why you keep on failing. I see sometimes 1,200 calories and you are having about 20 grams of protein for the whole day. That is why you keep failing. You are starving. Another reason why you should pay attention to your macros is because when you are losing weight, the first thing to go is water weight, but also muscle mass, especially in our age. As we age, we lose muscle mass. That is called sarcopenia. And one way to preserve your muscle mass while you are eating this weight loss journey. So pay attention to your macros, which is the quality of the food that you're consuming, instead of only the amount of food, which is the calories.
Another topic that is very, very crucial, and I know you are neglecting it, and we need this to be part of your habits and part of your lifestyle before you tap into tracking food. So that is meal prep. I know we're all guilty of not having enough time in our day or having too much on our plate. But if you're not able to prioritize meal prep and you're just going through your day with the motions of just running after the kids, going to work, or whatever you're doing throughout the day, you don't have meals that are accessible and ready to go, it's just tracking is going to be as hard. So what you need to do is to have one day where you sit down, at least if you're not going to meal prep, you should think about meal planning. So what you want to do is to just simply take a piece of paper, write down what are the meals that you're planning to make. You're going to figure out the meals for the week and you're going to break them down into the groceries or the pieces that you need to buy. So once you buy your groceries, if you have the time, go ahead, chop your veggies, have them ready, make your proteins, marinate your meats, and have them ready to go, because that habit itself is going to help you not only track consistently, because if you don't have food item that you want to track or eat for the day, you're going to end up eating out. And eating outside food and tracking the food from outside is definitely much harder than tracking the foods that you already have at home.
I had a client who was hitting her macros perfectly. She was doing strength training 3 times a week. She was walking, but she was hungry, even though her macro breakdown was beautiful. So I checked further, I asked her some questions, and I realized that she wasn't eating enough fiber. Yeah, fiber is as important as eating your macronutrients. So where can we find fiber? You can find fiber in whole grains, in fruits, in vegetables, and also in legumes. So if you are tracking your calories and you feel that my macro breakdown is pretty good, I'm having enough protein through the day, but I'm still hungry, I invite you to check your intake of fiber. You can have half of the plate with vegetables. Sometimes what I do is that I eat roasted vegetables, but also I add a raw salad on the side. That keeps me full and satisfied for the rest of the day. I know that since you became an adult, you think you don't have to sleep early. I know you. And now we have our frenemy, Netflix. I know, bestie. You are not getting enough sleep. Why is this important? Because if you're not sleeping enough, you're not building muscle mass. You are having cravings through the day because you don't have energy and you're looking for fast sources of energy through the day, meaning cookies, cards, and a lot of coffee. So definitely we need to go back, sit down, and establish a bedtime routine. So maybe you can read a book before sleeping. Also, organize yourself a little bit better. I know it's super hard, we are super busy, but let's get at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep. If you're having troubles sleeping, I recommend you also breathing exercises before sleeping, listening to a guided meditation. Also, journaling helps you to sleep so you don't have a lot of worries through the night.
As mentioned earlier, protein is a very, very important and crucial macronutrient. So how much protein you should be taking in per day is really, really important in making it a habit when you are tracking your macros. Because if you don't make taking in enough protein a habit, what's going to end up happening is when you start tracking your macros, you will not be able to hit those numbers. So let's start off with how much protein you should be eating per day. It should be around 1 gram per body weight of your goal weight. So for example, if you weigh about 150 pounds and your goal weight is 130 pounds, you should be consuming about 130 grams of protein, which looks roughly around 30 grams of protein per meal, including a snack. So if you divide 130 by 4, it's about 30 grams per meal and a snack. And how do you know how many grams of protein you're eating? A lot of the foods have a label. So you can use, for example, if you're having Greek yogurt, it says the protein amount on the label. If you're having chicken, you can always go into your tracker and you can see how much protein is on the meals that you are consuming.
Biggest mistake when you are tracking your calories and macros, you are deducting the amount of exercise in calories. So you might be eating more than you should. When you are calculating your macros and calories through an app, your physical activity is already calculated in a calorie deficit. So if you are deducting the amount of exercise that you're doing, you are out of your deficit, and that might be the reason why you're not seeing results. Also, you don't need to exercise every single day in extraneous exercise routine, especially in our age. We want our hormones happy and balanced. What we recommend is to strength train 3 times a week, but very important, bestie, walking 10,000 steps a day is non-negotiable.
How many times have you found yourself just grabbing food on the go? You're taking a kid's snack, you're grabbing a little bagel here, you're grabbing this, you're grabbing that, and you never ever stop to think about your portion. So how do you expect to start tracking your macros and all of a sudden you understand how to measure your food? So that's another mistake that we make when we are starting our tracking calories, right? We just start by, okay, I'm gonna eat perfectly, I'm gonna start measuring my foods, I'm gonna start measuring my protein intake. But how about we take baby steps? How about we start off by measuring our food before we start tracking calories? What it means is that for breakfast, you want to make sure that you have 30 grams of protein. You read your labels, you use your cup, you use your tablespoon. Even you can start using a tiny little food scale. What that's going to give you is it's going to get you in the habit of measuring your meals. So for vegetables, I always say vegetables, half of your plate with vegetable is a great indicator of how much vegetables you're eating. So that's a good way to measure your vegetables. But when it comes to your carbohydrates, you always want to eat within the serving size. Having chicken sandwich. The chicken sandwich has 2 pieces of toast, some chicken inside, and some vegetables, and maybe some chips or whatever that you have on the side. You want to make sure that everything that you're eating is within the proportions of the serving size, right? So if it's a bag of chips, Don't just grab the whole bag or handful. Just get the serving size of whatever it says on the bag. So your plate is half filled with vegetables. That's your veggies. You got 2 pieces of toast, and you want to make sure that you know how many grams or how many ounces of chicken is are you serving in that particular meal. And once you get in the habit of having your foods measured within the serving size, then it will be much easier for you to start tracking calories. For example, another good example is snacks. Usually we have our kids snack and we just grab it. Instead of doing that, how about you make a snack plate for yourself? Chop some cucumber, have some carrots, have 2 tablespoons of hummus. Kind of get in the habit of not grabbing and going and just having your own measured plate and serving sizes ready. Last but not least, once you have implemented some of those habits and you know you are ready to start tracking your macros, here's what you're going to do, besties. Don't rely on tracking apps such as MyFitnessPal or other nutrition apps to calculate your nutrition. I'm going to equip you to know and understand how to calculate your own macros. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to tdeecalculator.net and you're going to put in all the information about yourself. It's going to give you a number. It's going to give you your maintenance calories. Maintenance calories meaning those are the calories that your body needs in order to maintain your current weight. So what you're going to do is you're going to deduct 250 calories from that number just to start off. You don't want to cut 500 calories all at once because that is not going to be easy. It's not going to be sustainable. It's not going to be good for your metabolism. So what you're going to do is you're going to deduct only 250 calories just to start off with. And you're going to plug that into your meal tracker app. So now you ask how many grams of protein, carbs, and fats. In our program, we calculate those numbers for our clients based on their goals. But for starters, for someone who's just getting started, I would like to recommend to have 40% of those calories coming from carbs, 35 from protein, 25 of those from fats. And this is it for today, besties. This is exactly what we teach in our program to our besties. And that's how they've been able to achieve long-lasting results because they are building those fundamental habits before starting tracking macros.
And if you haven't tracked macros or calories and you don't know where to start, we have the perfect program for you. The 21-day Fat Loss Jumpstart program. You have to download it down below. In that program, we're going to teach you exactly what you need to do before tracking calories and macros.
And make sure to subscribe to our channel for more useful information about weight loss and fat loss for women in their 40s.